Hello, I'm Andrew Broussard, and you may remember me as the fountain pen guy in the classroom, where I've been doing numerous posts talking about incorporating fountain pens in the classroom, setting up a fountain pen refilling station, and giving fountain pens out to students. We're at the end of the semester, the end of the 9 weeks. We're a week away from Christmas break, and it's at the crunch line. It's exhausting, but I learned a lot about fountain pens in the classroom and what works and what doesn't work. First of all, I had a huge outpouring of support. I even got these beautiful cards sent to me from people throughout Reddit and other websites, sending inks, pens, just their supports, thanks, being interested in what I'm doing and whatnot. Even questions from other teachers that wanted to do it. So I wanted to do a recap of everything that I learned. Hopefully I'm not repeating myself. But so far, I found out that the Lamy clones are great pens for the students. However, the caps do come apart eventually. I had 2 students have their caps come apart. So if you're going to do something like that, you probably want crazy glue, have an extra screwdriver around, something to reassemble the cap. The second thing, the platinum Preppies have been a fantastic pen as well. Those, however, somebody sent me a pack and they had sent ink for the platinum because it's a different converter, a different system in order to feed ink. So if you go that route, or if you send any teachers something like that, you're going to want to utilize that. Another big thing was a lot of the cheaper end Gin House. They look beautiful and the kids love them. And it's a great way to introduce, and it's a great way for kids to have something that they really take pride in and have something really special for the students. So I had those sent. I've also had the Gin House Swans, the Gin House Sharks. Those were great as well. The kids love those. So there's a lot of great low price pens that you could either get for your classroom, or the main goal of this is to get other teachers involved, get you to send to those teachers. Now, I had started out by, I just have some pencils right here just to show you. I had started out by putting pens out here that I had filled up, and kids started borrowing. Kids started getting interested in fountain pens when they saw me utilizing them. So if you use fountain pens, use them in front of the kids and they'll get interested. So I filled up fountain pens for the kids to come take and try out and keep if they want. That got pretty exhausting. Then I started putting in empty fountain pens in here, and they'd come up and I'd say, okay, these are the ones I have available today. Let's take it out, and then I'll teach you how to refill it. Then I started keeping my fountain pens back here or down here, where I'd have kids come up and say, hey, we're looking for those cool pens, and I'd say, okay, let me see what I have for you and whatnot. So that was the kind of progress of the handing out of the pens. I also have this rack that I had for borrow only. A lot of kids, and you can see it's empty at this point, a lot of kids would borrow the same one over and over again, and I'd say eventually, listen, you're using that one over and over again, you can have that one. I had ones on here that I didn't offer for the kids to take, however, for them to borrow and to return. However, those slowly started disappearing. If you're an educator, you'll know that stuff in your classroom will eventually disappear. One lady who had gotten a platinum Preppy set for her class, and I was talking to on Reddit, she said that one of her pens had disappeared. So that is kind of the nature of the beast of teaching in a classroom. I don't know, Ethan, have you experienced that at all?
My calculators.
With
all
calculators,
the time.
yes. Within a math class, calculators, no matter what you do, that'll happen. And unfortunately, you got to roll with the punches. With being an educator, you got to roll with the punches. Inks. I found that the kids love blue, black, and red. So these are just different inks that people had sent me. I had a great outpouring. In regards to black, this is actually, I think, Parker Quink that somebody had poured in a pilot bottle for me. Yes. And I had a bottle of Parker Quink that I had filled up twice. So it kind of gives you an idea of how much ink is getting utilized. Red, they use it in different classes for note-taking. I think in U.S. history, they were using a lot of red with their note-taking. Blue is just a good option. Then people had sent various other colors. I'm not sure which ones I have out right now. I have a few on the side. So a good collection of inks is fantastic. You're going to go through a lot of inks at first, but definitely have a black, blue, red, and then experiment with others. Price-wise, Parker Quink will be the cheapest black from what I've seen. This red, I think, is a Hero brand. Somebody had sent me, my friend Rio. I think those are cheap on eBay. That had popped up as an option. And this is the Monteverde Blue. And Noodler's, if you don't know this by now, Noodler's has a really good price for good volume. So that's that with that. Next, if you set up in a classroom, so like I said, introduce and slowly start weeding out this, because like I said, they're eventually going to start disappearing. Here's the inks that we have. Have a cleaning, refilling area, something as simple as paper towels, cup, water. It lets you explain to a kid, after you fill up a pen for them, you could just demonstrate, like, listen, if you have a pen, and you could shake and you could show how it splatters, to kind of warn kids about the nature of fountain pens and the potential for ink leakage. Now, also demonstrate how you want to store a fountain pen, you know, upright as opposed to upside down in your pocket where it fill up the cap. Now, paper-wise, a lot of people in the beginning asked about paper, what type of paper you having them use. They were just using their own paper, loose leaf. It really wasn't an issue. If you do find it's an issue, find the fountain pen inks that are good for loose leaf paper. Now, I think that addressed everything that I learned. Okay, yeah, we started keeping pens back here. If people do send you some really nice pens, which some people did, I think somebody had sent like an original Parker 51. I held those for my like super high productive, very responsible students. So if you wind up getting donations of really high quality pens, just kind of monitor who you're giving those to and who's going to truly cherish it. They're going to cherish a fountain pen regardless, but something like Parker 51, I gave to the student who actually started me handing out fountain pens. Because he was a quiet kid, he had fountain pens, I had fountain pens, and I started giving them like that. So keep that in mind if somebody donates or if you are going to give out fountain pens in that regard. I believe that's everything. The end goal of this, like I said in the last video, is to get other teachers involved, either them getting sets for their classroom, so we talked about pens, what you need to have ink-wise, or having people send sets to the teachers. And I think that the best way to do it, everybody that I communicated with, I had them send directly to me, but I think it might be best if you guys utilize school mailing addresses. So if we try to make this a big, broad thing, let's make sure we keep it within the schools, just in case anybody's like, oh, hey, yeah, I could definitely use some pens for my classroom, wink, wink. You know what I mean? So you just want to watch out for that. I think I covered everything. Anything you think I missed or need to discuss?
That's good.
Okay, so I hope you guys have happy holidays. We're halfway through the school year. Let's start thinking about how we can get pens into other classrooms. And thank you all so much. And those of you that I didn't get to thank individually, like in Reddit messages, I just got tangled up. But thank you all so much, and have a great day.